All right, welcome back to our series on creating this Raspberry Pi case. What we're going to be doing today is creating a set of feet that will lift the case up because we're going to run bolts in through the bottom. We want to create some feet that'll stand us up off of the table so that we can stand up off of those bolts. So let me show you on the document camera. It's probably easier to show you than to tell you here. So here's our enclosure. This is what we've designed so far. Here's where our model's at. This is where we left off last time, where we had created this cover here, which then we can turn off here, and then we had this acrylic lid, and then we can turn that off, and then we've got the base, and of course the Pi and the SenseHat are in there. But when we roll this over, what we're talking about is creating some feet on that bottom surface. And so, what that piece is going to look like is it'll have some little button feet there that we've molded into the 3D printed design. That then, when our bolts go in here, when our bolts go through, here it's a little tight, but to kind of force it through. Up here. When these bolts go through, and my holes are just a little tight in my prototype here. When those bolts go through, then they'll sit below the feet here. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Here we go. All right. So back to Fusion. So here we are. I've rolled it over so I can see the bottom here. The first thing I want to do, kind of like we've done in each of the other videos here beyond the creating the base, is I want to create a component for it here. And so I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to call that, feet. And so now everything else gets grayed out and it's waiting for me to start adding things. So I'm going to create a sketch on this bottom surface. And so there's my sketch. I'm going to do a projection here. We're leaning pretty heavily on projections in this video sequence. I'll say okay. And to be honest with you, that's pretty much it. We don't have to do much else here. What we can do now is go ahead and finish the sketch. And you'll see that there's our projection. So now if we want to do, there's our sketch. So if I want to do an extrusion here, and I'll make this 1.6 millimeters. And so now we've got the flat piece of our feet. So let's go ahead and create yet another sketch, and that sketch then will include our feet here. So I want to select this surface, and I'm going to create a sketch. And then inside of each one of these circles here, I'm going to create another 10 millimeter. These are 10 millimeter circles. I'll just make them out to the size of the all right, and I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That's it. So now I've got those circles. Now if I want to extrude those, I'll just extrude this and this and this and this. I might also go ahead and fill in these holes. I don't really want holes in the bottom here. All right, so I'm going to make those 5 millimeters high. And so now I've got feet on my enclosure. Of course, things are sitting here below the axis here, but that's fine because we're growing the design down. All right, so it's got the holes here for the bolts to go through. It's got feet, and that's it. Those are the feet for the design. So pretty much we're complete here with this enclosure. Now the next video will be more about, okay, how do I take these components that I've designed and actually get those over onto the 3D printer plate. And so we'll be firing up Prusa Slicer and then bringing in components and kind of moving them around and getting them on the plate and getting ready to 3D print the parts of the 3D printable. All right, that's it for this video.